Hey everyone, it's Sean Hammond here from Everyday Wimbledon. Welcome to the next day in our Kenya trip diary. If you remember, we're here, a group of us from Everyday Church, on behalf of Compassion UK. We're visiting a project where so many Everyday Church people are so generously sponsored to have nearly 90 children sponsored by Everyday Church Wimbledon. And so we're here for a few days just to kind of see the project, understand the work of Compassion and find out what it's all about. So thank you for your prayers, we really appreciate them. We're having an incredibly mind-changing time so far, and I'm just recording these videos every day just to give you a flavour of what we've been experiencing and just to tell you more about how you can understand the work of Compassion. Have you ever lost something, and in that moment it's become the most important thing to you to try and find? It could be something of really small, insignificant thing. It could be a trinket that you've lost by comparison. But yet in that moment when you can't find it, it's like it gnaws away inside at you, and you just will tear the house apart looking for it, and you won't rest until you find it. Have you ever had that feeling? And if you can't find it and you have to go and do something else, it keeps eating away at you. You can't find this thing, and you keep wondering where it is. I've been reflecting on that feeling of not being able to find something or something being lost and it eating away at you. Over the course of yesterday, as we've been carrying on touring the project, getting to know our sponsored children a little bit better, doing some home visits and finding out what their lives are really like. Poverty is a thief. Poverty is a thief that tells you that you don't matter. It tells children that their lives are not really worth very much at all, that they should have low expectations of their life and what their lives might become. And it's an absolute lie, because every life matters. And what we read in the Bible is we read a story of a God who has lost his children, and it gnaws away at him inside, and he will do anything at all to find those children and bring them back to himself. And that's not just the children that we're encountering here in Kenya, but it's every single one of us as well. All of us who don't know Jesus for themselves are considered lost, and God went to the most extreme lengths possible in order to find us. In the Bible, Mark's Gospel, it says that the Son of Man, in other words Jesus, came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Jesus paid the ultimate price so that we could be found again by God. In 1 Timothy it says this: there is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man Christ Jesus, who gave himself as a ransom for everyone. And I've just been reflecting on the fact that God went to extreme lengths to find the lost. He didn't let it sit with him that that those children were lost, and he was prepared to let them go. But he went to the most extreme lengths by giving himself to find them. We've seen children who, through sponsorship, have realized once again that they are not lost children, that they can be found, that their life circumstances can change, and that their lives can go on a very different plane to what they found themselves. We've visited families who through child sponsorship have been able to improve their circumstances dramatically. Some of them now have electricity in their houses where they had none. Some of them have been able to live in better quality housing that is less susceptible to flooding than what they were before. Their children are getting health screening, where they were once ripe for disease. They're now, these problems are getting picked up earlier on in their lives. They're getting school uniforms and being able to receive good quality schooling, whereas before they were getting beaten because they weren't doing their homework, because they didn't have the textbooks. And we were fortunate enough last night to have dinner with two young people who had gone through the Compassion program and had gone through some Compassion leadership development programs as well. One of them is now a trained social worker and is about to get married, and one of them is in her 5th year of medical college and has ambitions to become a doctor. And I was really struck by what she said. She almost did a little pirouette for us, and she turned around and said, I came from the Kibera slums. She said, would you believe that anything this beautiful could have come from the Kibera slums? And it wasn't just because she was a beautiful lady, she was, by the way, but because she had recognized that God had drawn her true value out, and God had paid attention to her, and God had shown her what her true value was in him. And as a result, she realized she could be anything she wanted. Yes, it was thanks to the generosity of her sponsors and through the people who helped her in her life and put her through these programs. But she recognized that all the glory for that came from God, and she realized her true value in life, and now is going on to amazing things and is changing her life circumstances dramatically. So I want to thank you once again for all of you who are giving generously, who are sponsoring children, who are praying for us while we're over here. We are seeing the fruits of your giving and your labor. Lives are being transformed here, and we are so grateful to what God has done. Today we're going off to visit our children and have another fun day with them, and I look forward to telling you more tomorrow about how that goes. But God bless you, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.